You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
Most writers and radio show hosts know that to connect with your fans, you need to do more than just write books or record the latest podcasts. There are many different elements that go into forming an online platform, but there are also many hidden traps. To make matters worse, solid advice on how to survive the muddy waters is scarce. In the book Hidden Traps, I talk about some of the important issues of working with an online platform, highlighting traps that could put your physical or internet security at risk or be harmful to your reputation. Are your social media posts just links with a few disjointed words, making you look like someone who can't complete a sentence? Did your new website cost you more than you anticipated? Are you leaking your personal contact details across the web without even knowing it? Then you need Hidden Traps. Although Hidden Traps is not officially released until August 1st, you can pre-order your paperback or ebook copy now from a variety of retailers, including Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Kobo. Visit blackwolfpublications.com for more details.
Here's George Foreman with InventHelp.
Hi, I'm George Foreman. Do you have an idea for a new product or invention? People ask me all the time, George, how do I get my idea in front of companies? How do I get a patent? What do I do next? Do you have the same questions? I'll tell you like I'll tell them all. Call my friends at InventHelp.
Call InventHelp today for free information. InventHelp has been helping inventors for more than 30 years and has sales offices nationwide. InventHelp can submit your invention to companies who are interested in receiving new ideas. If you have an idea and want to try to patent it and submit it to companies, you should call InventHelp today for free information.
Listen, I can't guarantee a company will be interested in your idea, but I believe every inventor deserves the opportunity to step into the ring and take their best shot. Put InventHelp in your corner.
To get your free inventor's information, call 1-800-353-6490. That's 1-800-353-6490. Again, 1-800-353-6490.
KLRN Radio has advertising rates available. We have rates to fit almost any budget. Contact us at advertising@klrnradio.com.
This is Slickery Trigger for Rebel Road Tactical. With proper care and feeding, your pistol will be ready when you need it, there to save your life. Shouldn't your gear be that good? Whether you need a holster for comfortable everyday carry or a tough-as-nails holster for your next training course, Rebel Road Tactical has what you need. Check us out on the web at rebelroadtactical.com.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 1-800-516-7602 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 1-800-516-7602 to take your call right now. Call 1-800-516-7602. That's 1-800-516-7602. Again, 1-800-516-7602.
If you're 85 or younger, would you like peace of mind and comfort for your family? We're Final Expense Direct with an urgent message for you. The average funeral today costs over $8,000, but the most you'll get from government benefits is $255. How will your family pay the difference? We can help. Our senior plans start as low as just $1 a day and pay up to $30,000 for a funeral and other final expenses. Peace of mind is easy. There's no medical exam. You'll have lifetime coverage, and your plan can't be canceled as long as you pay your premiums. Call now for free information about our senior plans. Answer a few simple questions and receive approval right on the phone. Plus, call right now and we'll give you a discount prescription card for free. Call 800-553-8687. That's 800-553-8687. Again, 800-553-8687. 8687.
Everyone loves liberty. Our rights come from God, not the government. So why are you letting other people tell you what's best for your health care? Exercise your freedom with Liberty Health Share. Liberty Health Share is a community of people who voluntarily share one another's medical costs. Liberty Health Share is founded on the idea that most people truly want to help one another. Healthcare sharing allows members to do just that as a true community that supports one another in times of need. Liberty believes people should make decisions for themselves and their families. Members are able to take back the freedom to make their own decisions about their health care. Freedom from guilt or doubt about how your money is used. You have the freedom to direct your health care, not to be dictated to by bureaucrats. Stop letting others tell you what to do and join a community of like-minded people. Exercise your freedom. Join Liberty Health Share and take back the control of your health care while helping those around you. Call Liberty at 855-58-LIBERTY. Again, that's 855-58-LIBERTY for more information, or you can check them out at libertyhealthshare.org. Again, that's libertyhealthshare.org.
Oh, let me tell you something. I am so sick of Washington and all its works and all them politicians down there and them congressmen. I'll bet you won't find none of them congressmen signing down their electric blankets tonight. Because if they did, their secretaries would get up and go home.
We gotta do something. Absolutely. You know what we gotta do? Toga party.
Toga! 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 Toga!
I want you to kill every golfer on the course.
Check me if I'm wrong, Sandy, but if I kill all the golfers, they're going to lock me up and throw away the key.
Well, good evening. Happy Friday night. This is Robinson and I. We're coming to you live right now from KLRNradio.com. We do this thing once a week, every Friday night, 11 p.m. Eastern. And who'd have thunk that, you know, a line from a 70s movie about a college fraternity would turn out to be prophetic about what the hell is going on in D.C. today, because they might as well just be acting like they're throwing a damn toga party, because they ain't doing anything else. Good evening. I am Rick Robinson, one half of the crew, joined by Mr. Dan Wright. Good evening, sir. How are you?
I'm great. I'm fantastic. It's Friday, and I don't have to work tomorrow.
That makes one of us, because this is how I feel about D.C. right now.
I hate this place. Nothing works here. The medications don't work. I've been here for 7 years.
It's funny that clip says something about 7 years, because for 7 years they've been telling us they were going to repeal Obamacare. Yeah, that didn't happen. Just saying.
Yeah, it didn't. I think we're going to get into that a little bit tonight, aren't we?
A lot of it, probably, because I'm pretty cranky about it. But yeah, we'll start it with some other stuff first. So what's new in your neck of the woods? Anything interesting going on? Anything new? Something that keeps me from wanting to yell about DC for at least 30 seconds?
Working, and I don't have to work tomorrow, and I'm happy about that.
How many times have I told you about four-letter words on our radio show, sir?
Yeah.
We don't mention the W word on Friday nights. Yeah, we don't do that, remember? At least not on the air. All right, so anyway. So, I don't know. All kidding aside, I have a huge problem with what's going on in D.C. right now. I'm not going to start out with the Obamacare stuff because, you know, everybody's talking about that and everybody knows how mad we are about it. And we will get to that probably in the second half of the show because I have some audio and a bit of a prediction that will go along with the audio that we have that we'll be playing on the second half of the show. But I want to talk about the circus that is currently D.C. and about the communications director who basically accused one of Trump's senior staff of performing fellatio upon himself. What the hell? I mean, I get it. They're New Yorkers. They talk that way. I know this because one of my very good friends who I used to have on the station with us that did a radio show talk that way all the time. So I understand when everybody's like, well, you've just never been around a New Yorker before. Yeah, I have. But even he knows when to turn it off. These guys literally talk like they're permanently stuck in a Sopranos movie. I'm gonna whack every last one of the leakers. I want to kill them all. And screw Bannon, he's... Nah, never mind. I'm not gonna finish that sentence. But you know what he said. Everybody does. I'm just like, really? And then they fired... And, well, I guess... I heard this story 3 different ways. That Reince quit today, Reince was fired today, or that Reince quietly resigned yesterday. I'm not sure which one of these versions actually is true. I do find it odd, though, that if he resigned yesterday, how it didn't leak to the media, because everything that's gone on in this administration has leaked to the media within 12 hours of it happening. I don't know.
Or it's been posted on Twitter.
Well, I mean, you can't really call it a leak if it's coming from his own Twitter account, though. I mean, can you?
Yeah, I mean, but honestly, how many things just get posted on Twitter? And I'm not totally against it. It's kind of like his little thing. I mean, how many people follow him? You know, it's like kind of his way of saying, this is what's happening today. If you don't like that I posted it here, I don't care. Part of me likes it, part of me hates it. I can't decide. It's a little bit of a problem there, I guess.
I think it's our affinity for watching train wrecks as they happen. Because anytime he takes to Twitter, it becomes a train wreck.
A lot of what he posts on Twitter, I'm like, what are you doing? But sometimes I'm kind of like, you know what? Hey, he's just saying what's happening. I mean, it's almost like he's saying, I'm not giving this to the media because I hate the media, so I'm just going to release it myself with my own media that I have right here. That's what his Twitter account is. It's his own media. And part of me hates it, and part of me loves it. Well, it's a really weird dichotomy right there. It really is.
I've had an analogy when it comes to Trump on Twitter, and I've kind of held off on it because I really have been trying to give the guy the benefit of the doubt. That is slowly coming to a close, and we'll get into some more of that as to why that is later. But, you know, watching Donald Trump with Twitter is kind of like watching the monkey flinging poo at the zoo. It's mildly entertaining, and every once in a while something sticks.
Yes.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it is.
You just nailed it. You just absolutely nailed what I was trying to articulate somehow there a few minutes ago.
Oh, but I mean, it literally is. I mean, it's just one of those things that's just like mildly entertaining, and every once in a while he lands a good shot, and you're like, holy cow, that was pretty cool. And then he comes back, and you're like, oh my God, please put the phone down. Just stop. But, I mean... That's not all. I mean, we're talking about all the things. I really don't know how we cram everything that happens into a week into 1 hour's worth of show, because there's so many things that have happened this week. It's just crazy. Like, he made a Twitter decree that transgendered folks would no longer be eligible to serve in the military, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. And then Bradley, a.k.a. Chelsea Manning, came out and started talking about how he, she, it was going to stand up for transgenders, and all I have to say about that is this.
You can act like a man! What's the matter with you?
Because you still got the right chromosomes. I don't care what kind of aftermarket work you've done. You're still a dude. Quit acting like a bitch. Oh, damn, I'm sorry. Did I say that out loud? My bad.
He's still a treasonous traitor, dude.
No, you mispronounced douche, but I'll forgive you.
I mean, every time I see something, whether it be a quote tweet or something show up in my social media with him, and I'm going to call him.
Please do, because I get so many people that don't.
I cringe at the Abby and whatever he has to say. I just cringe. The guy has like 300,000 followers on just Twitter alone. Listening to his crap. The guy is a traitor to this country, and the only reason he is not still in prison is Barack Obama. That is the only reason he is not still in prison.
This is true.
It totally disgusts me.
And actually, I've seen plenty of people calling him out about that, too, because as he's been, doing the, I'm transgender and that should matter. And everybody's like, dude, you should be in prison still. You're a treasonous little dirtbag. And he just gets all offended.
If any of the people that I know that are friends in my life that are in the military did what he did, they are all straight. And they would be in prison for whatever his prison term was, which was 30 years? Something like that?
Yeah.
They would stay in prison. The only reason he's out of prison is because he decided to have I didn't say it. A thing done to him.
Oh,
he decided... He played the game. He knew how to play the game. He may not even really want to be who he is. To be honest with you, he may not. Here you go. I'm going to throw a little bit of Alex Jones into this.
Oh, God.
I think, honestly, that he really doesn't want to be who he is, but he figured out a way with that administration to get out of his prison term.
You know what? It honestly wouldn't surprise me. But if he didn't want to be what he is, he's definitely embraced it now. Because, he was running around in, midnight blue lipstick the other day, which I thought was kind of funny.
You know what? Do what you got to do, bro. I know plenty of straight military people that will sit there and go, if I did anything... a tenth of what he did, I'd be in prison for that full 30 years. He is out because he claims he's a she. That is crap. It's just crap.
It is, though. Think about that for a second, because you're right. If anybody else, come on, we've seen people that have done much less dangerous things than what he's done. There was a guy that actually got put in, I honestly, I don't remember if he just got discharged or if he actually went to prison for it, for basically taking a picture in a classified area on a submarine and sending it back to his family. I don't know if he did it on purpose or if he didn't think about it when he did it or whatever the case may be, but he actually got severely disciplined for doing this. This guy was literally leaking information, and yes, I said guy, was literally leaking information. And because it decided it needed to be transgendered, all of a sudden it's been released from the military. Not only released from the military, but released from a 30-year prison sentence. Look, I don't know what Donald Trump's motivations were, but I think from what I've been able to read, most of it is the exorbitant costs around those type of things that I think, honestly, a lot of folks that are joining the military that have these type of tendencies are doing it for the express purpose of they think they're going to get a free ride to get themselves, with the right equipment swapped out or whatever the case may be, which isn't true, by the way. But there are still all of these extra things that they have to deal with, and there's all of these times that they have to be emotionally ready and emotionally stable, because you can't be on a fire base in the middle of nowhere with 12 other guys and suddenly decide that you want to be a chick and have to start going through all these hormonal procedures and everything else, because I've known people that have been in those type of situations. Those are stressful situations as it is. You throw mental instability in there, which I'm sorry, that's what that is, and it's a recipe waiting for a disaster. It just really is.
Yeah, when the person next to you that is supposed to have your back all of a sudden isn't getting their hormone treatments and they're losing their freaking mind, what good does that do anybody? It does nobody any good. People need to understand what a combat situation is. In a combat situation, you can't have the person that you are supposed to have their back and they're supposed to have your back. All of a sudden, they're going freaking Looney Tunes because they're in the middle of the desert and they can't get their hormone treatment. That doesn't work. It doesn't work. That gets people killed. That gets innocent people killed over a choice that you've made. It gets innocent people killed. Now, you know, and I mean, plenty of our listeners know, I mean, I actually at one point dated somebody that's in the Air Force, was in the Air Force at the time. I would be in her office. Something would come up, and she would literally tell me, you can't see this, you need to leave. That's how you handle things. Bradley Manning willingly gave away information. Now, I have somebody that I am intimate with that tells me, you have to leave my office because I got to make sure you don't see any of this. That's how you handle things. That's a person that is responsible and knows how much trouble they could get into. Because if I'm sitting in there and I see that, and literally if someone just finds out that I saw it, she could go to prison for years. And he gets let out of prison because he's transgender. That is crap. Total crap. And anybody that supports him is total crap in my mind. Wow. Okay.
Tell us how you
spoke
really
my mind on that.
Tell us how you really feel, Dan. Don't hold back next time.
It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous.
No, I mean, it really is. So, I don't know. So, I mean, what is your actual take on the now? Granted, a tweet storm does not a military decision make, but what is your stance on the president's sudden decision that transgendered people should be excluded in certain circumstances? I mean, is he talking? Because honestly, I hadn't had a chance to look at it all the way around. Is he actually talking about completely excluding them from the military, or are they only not going to be able to be in the military while they're undergoing the transitions? Or I mean, or is he just talking about having them out altogether? Because honestly, I have to admit, I hadn't really looked at it much because I've been too busy focusing on all this crap with Obamacare.
I think it. I mean, he basically said a ban, and I'm okay with that because, you know, you've got people coming out and saying, I can't remember the name. There's a Navy SEAL that's now a transgender that said, I was in the whole time and it never affected anything. But she wasn't going through, or he wasn't going through, any transition at the time. You know, I think his thing, I think Trump's thing is a whole monetary thing. But I'm for it because I look at it as an emotional thing. You can't be trying to transform your body and be on the battlefield. And I'm not just talking the battlefield, in support or anything else. You can't. I mean, people have even said it, and I don't agree with it because I know plenty of women in the military. But even in the support role, people have even said, you know, women go through their cycle and they can get emotional or whatever. I don't even believe in that. I'm not even a big fan of women in combat. I'm not saying that women can't do it, but I've just never been a big fan of it anyway. So am I supposed to be a fan of a guy that wants to be a woman, that's taking hormone treatments, being in the battlefield? No, I don't want that. I don't want that person having the back of anybody else with the chance of becoming emotionally unstable because all of a sudden they missed a hormone treatment. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I mean, go ahead and just call me a misogynist. Men in combat are men in combat.
Patriarchy,
if you're a man
blah,
that
blah,
wants
blah.
to be a woman, just choose another direction in life. Don't go for the military because you're hoping that the military will change everything and pay for your sex change. I mean, really? Is that where we are now? That the military is required to pay for you to change from a man to a woman? No. Find another way to do it. It's your problem. It's not my problem. It's not Rick's problem. It's not anybody's problem but your own. You figure it out. I'm done with it. The government should not be paying anybody to chop anything off or put anything on. They shouldn't be paying for it.
No, you're right. You're absolutely right. I just, like I said, we hadn't had a chance to talk about it much, and I was just kind of curious to get your take on it, because I happen to agree. Again, I think you're right. I think most of the reasons Donald Trump is worried about it is because of the costs that are incurred by this type of stuff. Because, I mean, that seems to be where most of his focus is. Which, I mean, makes sense. We're broke. We need somebody to focus on the bottom line. So, I mean, that's honestly the one thing that while he's been elected, I think he's done fairly well on. The economy seems to be on an uptick. We have a pretty good job growth numbers coming out now. So, I mean, there are things that he's done that are okay, but part of what concerns me is kind of a revelation that I've had, which, before we go to break, I do have a bit of a confession to make. I feel like I owe the listeners an apology no matter what show they listen to, because a few months back I actually made the statement that should worse come to worse, I hoped that they would let Obamacare fail and then pick up the pieces and figure out how to put things back together. But that was when I was under the assumption that we had Republicans in Congress, at least, that didn't want socialized health care. Because we already know that Donald Trump does. And before anybody calls me out or starts telling me that I'm a liar, I have the audio to prove it. We're going to take the break here in just a couple of minutes. And when we come back, we're going to have some pretty interesting audio from some of the people that actually just voted down pretty much every version of trying to do anything about Obamacare. And also President Trump himself. So one of the things that has kind of hit me like a ton of bricks over the last 36 hours was realizing that in a lot of ways, we have been witness to a 7-year-long stage play. We had a bunch of people pretending to be conservatives, telling us how they wanted control of everything back so that they could come in and fix the supposed mess that the Democrats made, when all along apparently they wanted this mess because they could have fixed it. They've had 7 years to get ready to fix it, to do something, to repeal it, which is what they ran on. And they didn't do it. They have floated pretty much every version of a repeal possible, to the point where the Democrats, including Uncle Speedo, basically floated a single-payer system vote last night, and it failed. It failed because nobody voted yes. 40-something, 50-something people voted no, and 40-something people voted present, including Uncle Speedo. So I have a question. I understand the rest of the Democrats voting present on socialized health care because you know that's the third rail for your political career. Everybody knows that Bernie Sanders is a socialist, so why didn't he put his money where his mouth is while he's bragging about how everybody else needs to be doing other things with their money, but he owns 3 houses? Asking for a friend. That's a hashtag, by the way. Meh.
And why does anybody need 3 houses?
I don't know. I mean, I would like to have... I'm happy to have 1 house. I don't need 3 houses. Yeah. I would like to make enough money to be able to pay off my house and then start putting back some money so at some point I could retire. But I don't need 3 houses. That's the thing.
At this point, I want 1 house. I want one house.
Well, this is true. I keep forgetting that you're currently living in a hotel, so I'm sorry. I really wasn't trying to rub anything in. Sometimes I forget because it's been so long.
I mean, to listen to people like Bernie Sanders, Al Gore, John Kerry, complain about what other people need to do. How about give me one of your houses? Then maybe I'll consider you. Give me one of your houses.
Yeah.
Or Al Gore, give me a room in your 8 gazillion square foot house. You complain about everybody else's footprint.
Yeah, none of which had any solar panels or, anything like that. No windmills, no solar panels. Dude flies around in a Gulfstream, but we're supposed to be controlling our carbon footprint. All right, we are officially up against a break, folks. We got to get one out of the way here in just a second because I realized I kind of got caught flat-footed. I lost track of time because we were kind of yelling and screaming, and I kind of realized I didn't load up.
If you're 85 or younger, would you like peace of mind and comfort for your...
I don't know what just happened. I didn't hit that button. All right. So, you know what? I already screwed up. We're just going to go to break. We'll be right back. Everyone loves liberty. Our rights come from God, not the government. So why are you letting other people tell you what's best for your health care? Exercise your freedom with Liberty Health Share. Liberty Health Share is a community of people who voluntarily share one another's medical costs. Liberty Health Share is founded on the idea that most people truly want to help one another. Healthcare sharing allows members to do just that as a true community that supports one another in times of need. Liberty believes people should make decisions for themselves and their families. Members are able to take back the freedom to make their own decisions about their healthcare. Freedom from guilt or doubt about how your money is used. You have the freedom to direct your healthcare, not to be dictated to by bureaucrats. Stop letting others tell you what to do and join a community of like-minded people. Exercise your freedom. Join Liberty Health Share and take back the control of your healthcare while helping those around you. Call Liberty at 855-58-LIBERTY. Again, that's 855-58-LIBERTY for more information, or you can check them out at libertyhealthshare.org. Again, that's libertyhealthshare.org.
The following message contains a special offer for listeners of this station. Are you a man over 40? Are you constantly looking for the nearest bathroom? Do you wake up multiple times a night to use the bathroom? Right now, Perfect Prostate is sending out free bottles of their groundbreaking new formula to listeners of this station. Perfect Prostate Formula was developed by medical doctor Mitchell Fleischer, and its ingredients have been clinically studied to reduce your frequent nighttime bathroom visits and promote healthy urine flow. Right now, preferred customers get their first bottle of Perfect Prostate absolutely free. There's nothing to lose. Perfect Prostate is guaranteed to reduce that constant urge to use the bathroom, especially at night, and promote healthy urine flow. Don't wait. Call now for your free bottle. Just pay shipping and processing. Dial 1-800-675-0251. That's 1-800-675-0251. Supplies are limited. One free bottle per household. Call now. Dial 1-800-675-0251. That's 1-800-675-0251.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 $3 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 1-800-516-7602 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 1-800-516-7602 to take your call right now. Call 1-800-516-7602. That's 1-800-516-7602. Again, 1-800-516-7602.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps stand ready to defend the American way of life. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Hey folks, I want to introduce you to a friend of mine, Dr. Richard Harden. We are on the same mission, which is waking up America. We just have different paths. So stay tuned for some information on how you can keep up with Richard and all his work.
Visit Richard's website at raharden.com. That's the World Wide Web at RAHARDIN.com. At his website, you can see a summary of the 6 books he has written, where purchases may be made. He also has a link to 18 videos on YouTube and several blogs about Christian beliefs. If you prefer, visit Amazon.com/Kindle and type in Richard Harden to see and purchase his books.
Hey, I like it when the buttons actually do what they're supposed to do. You push the bumper button and it plays a commercial. Welcome to Friday nights on KLRN Radio. All right, so anyway,
that was our usual bumper music.
Yeah, you know,
you did something right this time, Rick.
Well, you know, I tried to do it. I tried to do it right on the way to commercial. I even hit the right button and it played a commercial instead. I'm so confused. But anyway, so before we get into the thing that's going to probably tie up whatever time we have left on the show, I know there was one other topic that you definitely wanted to touch on, and I think it has to do with Trump's stance on this Mexican drug gang.
Yeah, there's a gentleman. I was watching Tucker Carlson tonight, and there's a gentleman named Daniel I hope I'm pronouncing this right. Daniel Altshuler. And he is literally defending MS-13 because apparently ICE is racist and Nazi, and MS-13 is, I don't know, guys that stab white women with screwdrivers to get their initiation. They sound like great guys. Let's just bring them in here. I mean, I actually tweeted this guy tonight. This guy has degrees from let's see if I can figure it out. Amherst College and Oxford. He has a PhD from Oxford.
You sure?
And he apparently has no idea what the word illegal means. So I asked him if they taught him that, either one of those wonderful bastions of academia. He has yet to answer me. He is literally defending MS-13 because Trump's a bad guy. Trump goes after MS-13, he's defending them. Dude, is there, I really want to know, is there anybody, whether they're conservative, liberal, libertarian, whatever they want to call themselves out there, that is glad that MS-13 has 10,000 plus members in this country? Is there anybody? That's what I want to know. Because this guy apparently thinks they need defending because Trump's a Nazi. Really? I mean, if it just amazes me that no matter what Trump does, he goes after one of the deadliest, most ruthless gangs in this country, and the liberals are like, oh my God, you can't do that? They deserve to be here. As they stab women in the chest with screwdrivers. Really? Give me a break. I am so sick of this. Oh, they're just people. They deserve to be here. No, illegal is illegal. If you're here illegally, you need to be deported. If you commit murder, you need to be imprisoned and or deported and or literally hung. If you come to this country with the sole purpose of getting your wings as an MS-13 gang member by stabbing innocent women in the chest with a screwdriver, you deserve what comes your way. And this guy is a moron. Complete and total moron. Listening to him speak literally gave me a headache. It gave me a headache.
I don't have to listen to him because I have 2 words for you because I was just looking at his bio. Community organizer.
Yes.
It's the new Obama.
Community organizer. You know what that is? That's organizing people that are here illegally against the people that are here legally. That's what that means now.
And it's funny because if you look at everything that he's tweeted about being on the show tonight, the word illegal never comes up. It's about, the president is against immigrants. The president doesn't like immigrants. Tucker Carlson doesn't like immigrants. No, that none of that could be further from the truth. We love immigrants. We love people that actually come here to immigrate, that do so illegally, that do so to assimilate, that don't come here to make things worse, that don't come here to kill people, that don't break the law to get here in the first place. And for all of you bleeding heart, namby-pamby wusses right now that are sitting out there going, but Rick, what about what it says on the Statue of Liberty? You know what? Shut up about the damn Statue of Liberty until you don't go to bed locking your doors at night. Leave your windows open at night, don't lock your doors, and don't lock your cars. And then you can talk to me about who I need to let in the house, otherwise known as this country, because you guys are full of crap. Because every single one of you that tell us that we should have open borders, you lock your doors at night when you go to sleep. Most of you live in gated communities with armed guards. I don't even do that. I'm my own armed guard. I live out in the middle of nowhere. Somebody's dumb enough to come up to me, they're going to get a shotgun. That's how it works.
Oh, yeah, you know I'm my own armed guard, too. The problem with this situation is the same people that are saying that Trump is a Nazi for giving ICE all of this authority are the same people that are going to complain when their house gets broken into and they get home invaded, or they get robbed at the grocery store, or robbed leaving the grocery store, or just robbed in general, or their family member gets killed. Then they're going to be like, what? The government didn't do anything to keep my family member from getting killed. No, the government tried to do something, and you were against it. This whole sanctuary city thing is going to destroy us if it's not done away with. The tractor trailer crosses from Mexico into Texas with 100+ people in the back of it. And 9, 10 people die, including 2 children? What they don't understand is the reason that happens is because of sanctuary cities. Because people in Mexico know they have a place to go. They know they have a place to go to be safe. Instead, they get locked in a tractor trailer in 99-degree heat with no water, no air conditioning, and they die. But apparently the progressives don't care about them. They don't care about them. or they do, but they think it should just be easier for them to get into this country and for you and me and everybody else that works to pay for them to be here. Now, if you do away with the sanctuary cities, then people go, it's not going to be so easy for me to go there. There were people on that tractor trailer that said they paid $12,000 to be brought to the United States. Do you know how long it takes to save up $12,000 in Mexico?
A long
That's like life
time.
savings. Life savings to be stuck in an 18-wheeler in 100-degree heat.
Yeah.
I mean, part of me says that the progressives need to wake up. Part of me says, don't wake up. Keep spewing your crap, because maybe we will actually eventually take this country back.
Well, we can hope, but I don't know. See, you're all trying to be optimistic, and I'm still over here going, if it's not the sanctuary cities that's going to get us, it's going to be single payer, because we're on the road to it, whether anybody wants to admit it or not. And might as well, because we're down to about 15 minutes. I have some audio, and then we're going to talk about the audio, and then I have some more audio. Then we're going to talk about this audio. Now, this is from the 26th. The midterm campaign cycle, I think, was what this one came from. And there's some interesting word choices in here. You're going to recognize the voices, and you're going to recognize that these voices that are saying one thing on this particular recording just did something else last night, multiple times.
Win House seats right here in Arizona. We will lead in Arizona. And when we do, we will stop the out-of-control spending and tax increases and repeal and replace Obamacare.
When he said, if you like what you have, you can keep it. I think that this new law has clearly failed to keep the president's promise to the people. And again, why I voted to repeal the entire law when we had that opportunity this past March. This law is not what the American people wanted it.
Repealing Obamacare's poorly crafted and misguided mandates and replacing the law with a fiscally responsible reform bill that contains costs and provides more choices is the best path forward.
Really? So the best path forward is to repeal Obamacare, yet you jackasses didn't repeal Obamacare. What the hell?
Yep.
Now, some of you are wondering why I'm suddenly doing this bit of a 180 on President Trump, and that's because, as I explained earlier, up until now, I was under the impression that even though I know that Donald Trump wants single-payer medicine because he's told us that he does, I was under the impression that we had a Congress that would have stood up to him about single-payer. But the problem is they didn't, and they won't, and they can't. And here's why. Because here's the part of this that concerns me. Actually, let's listen to some audio first of something that he said during a 2015 interview on 60 Minutes that I get yelled at every time I play this because it's highly edited and it's a lie and it's fake news, but I'm playing it anyway because it's him saying it. It's on video. You can find it yourself.
What's your plan for Obamacare?
Obamacare is going to be repealed and replaced. Obamacare is a disaster. If you look at what's going on with premiums, where they're up 45, 50, 55%.
So how do you fix it?
There's many different ways, by the way. Everybody's got to be covered. This is an un-Republican thing for me to say, because a lot of times they say, no, the lower 25%, they can't afford private. But
universal health care.
I am going to take care of everybody. I don't care if it costs me votes or not. Everybody's going to be taken care of much better than they're taken care of now.
The uninsured person?
Right.
Is going to be taken care of.
They're going to be taken care of.
How?
I would make a deal with existing hospitals to take care of people. And you know what? This is probably...
Make a deal. Who pays for it?
The government's going to pay for it, but we're going to save so much. much money on the other side. But for the most part, it's going to be a private plan, and people are going to be able to go out and negotiate great plans with lots of different competition, with lots of competitors, with great companies, and they can have their doctors, they can have their plans, they can have everything.
Now now he buried it at the end with some nice little platitudes about how it's going to be mostly private and people are going to be able to do this and people are going to be able to do that. But I want you to rewind to that spot in the middle that nobody talks about where he says the government is going to pay for it. Government paying for your health care is a single payer system. The president, the elected president of the United States, a year and a half before he was elected, told the country that he wanted single payer and nobody listened. And now we have a Congress that told us for 7 years, you give us control of the House, we'll fix Obamacare. You give us control of the Senate because we couldn't do it with just the House, we'll fix Obamacare. Okay, we tried it with the House and the Senate. You can see we've passed this bill or tried to 60 plus times. We need that White House to get it done. So we gave them all three and they couldn't get it done. I'm telling you, we are looking at nothing but bread and circuses. They have been instituting a 7-year-long play to keep us placated. They've been doing show votes to make us think that the Democrats are the bad guys, the Republicans are the good guys, and they're going to save us from this nightmare. They don't want to save us from anything. They want the control that single payer gives them. Donald Trump wants the control that single payer gives DC. He has been the perfect foil for all of this. I've been saying for weeks, why will he not let Russiagate die? Russiagate was dying. It was dying 2 weeks ago when Junior stepped in front and took the bullet for Dad and said, look, here's the entire email chain. This is the whole conversation we had about this thing that you guys are making into this big deal that ain't nothing. And it was dead until until Trump went and did an interview. I've been telling you for weeks, the fact that he will not let this die means that there's something that he doesn't want us fixating on, and this was it, because we've been so busy watching the rest of the mess that we don't realize that we are starting to pick up his mantra, which is let it fail, and then we will fix it. If we let it fail, which is what the ACA was designed to do, with a feckless Congress who will not stand up to him, and we already know that they won't. That's why he's firing everybody in front of him right now, because he's showing Congress, if you get in my way, this is what's going to happen to you. With a feckless Congress, when he goes for single payer, we are screwed. We are one of the largest countries on the planet, other than China. We don't have the infrastructure for single payer with the type of population that we have. Everybody talks about how great it works in places like Denmark and Sweden and Great Britain. They don't have our population. If we get put on single payer system for at least the first 5 years, the death estimates from the CBO that they're putting out, if we were to just repeal Obamacare, they would be eclipsed by the nightmare that we're going to be looking at, and we're cheering for it at this point. I have heard people that I respect on conservative talk shows start using Trump's mantra of, let it fail and then we'll fix it. Let it fail and then we'll fix it. And so was I, until I saw what was going on in Congress. We are screwed if we do not wake up, because if they get the type of control that single payer is going to give them, they are never, ever going to give it back. And for all of us that have been outraged over the Charlie Gard situation, if you don't wake up right now, whether it's today, tomorrow, 50 years from now, our children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren are going to face situations just like that here. And that's the last thing that any of us have ever wanted to see here, and we're running headlong toward it and cheering on the way.
Yeah, it's single payer will destroy us. The end. We went through this last election cycle on full repeal. The end. There are very few that still stand by that. Rand Paul, Ted Cruz. I mean, there's a handful, and we're probably going to end up with single payer. I have a little glimmer of hope that it won't happen, but it's literally the Republicans giving the Democrats what they wanted to begin with, is what it is. It's people like, bless his heart, people like John McCain, that you see his true colors. American hero, yes. Do I respect that? Yes. He wants the same thing the Democrats want. He wants socialism in this country. And the voters of Arizona apparently don't see that. The voters that vote for him over and over and over, maybe they do. Maybe they go, well, we don't have to vote for a Democrat. We just vote for John McCain because he's a Democrat.
Well, just to interject my last little bit of optimism here, I honestly don't know if John McCain just hadn't been diagnosed with terminal cancer, if he would have just thrown it all away like he just did. Because that's what he's done. I don't think he can be reelected at this point, because he just basically threw all of his cards on the table and said, you know what, I know you guys elected me as a Republican, but I'm gonna side with these guys.
I'm a Democrat.
But here's the thing, because I'm even hearing this here in places like Oklahoma, like on the drive home today. There's a station that I listen to all the time on the drive home, and I literally heard somebody call into the dude's show and tell him to take a chill pill because John McCain was actually saving the Republicans from themselves by voting no on the skinny repeal. I understand what he's saying there, because the skinny repeal was a train wreck, but the simple fact of the matter is they've had 7 years to get ready for this, and they didn't do anything. They had a clean repeal that was ready to go, that was voted on over 60 times, that was passed multiple times, and yet they didn't try to put up that clean bill until now, and they did it in such a way and in such a time that they knew they weren't going to have support for it, because we keep buying in to the Democratic propaganda when it comes to this stuff. Oh, we're going to be made to look like the bad guys because all these people that have health insurance now aren't going to have health insurance anymore. Do you realize if you bother to look the number of stories that you will find, and I found 2 today alone, of the people that are basically committing suicide, and the reports after they've committed suicide, as their family said they were so distraught over the fact that they couldn't afford their health care anymore under the Obamacare crap, that they were killing themselves. There was a couple that recently jumped to their death together because they couldn't afford their insurance anymore through Obamacare, and they didn't know what else to do. So they basically just said, you know what, screw it, we're going out together, and they jumped off of a building. These are the type of things that I'm talking about. The Democrats paint all of this stuff with such a broad brush, and they talk about how great Obamacare really is, even though everybody knows that it sucks. And they're like, well, it just needs to be tweaked. No, it doesn't need to be tweaked. This thing was designed to fail from the beginning. That's the part that nobody's talking about. That's why they had to sneak it through on a Christmas recess. Because the damn thing was designed to fail from the beginning. Because when it fails, the American public are going to panic. They're going to ask the government to swoop in and pick up the pieces. And then voila, we have single payer. We may not have wanted it, but that's how we're going to get there. And the Congress could have stopped them, but they didn't. So there will come a time when we're going to have to make a decision, because the day is going to come when they're going to try to shove single payer down our throats sideways, and we're going to have to decide whether or not we're going to take it. I, for one, ain't taking it. I don't care.
Yeah, I mean, it even goes back to watching Democrats call the Republicans the party of death for not even repealing Obamacare, for trying to somehow fix it.
Yeah, the same party that tells us
sick of
it's
it all.
broken.
We're sitting here pissed off that they're saying we're just going to try to fix this, and the Democrats are going, the Republicans are the party of death for trying to fix it. My health care sucks. It absolutely sucks. I guarantee you that Obamacare has taken at least 10 to 15 years off of my life. But it's a good thing. No, it's not. Obamacare wasn't meant to be the be-all, the end-all. Obamacare was meant to lead to single payer, which is even worse. It was all a ruse to begin with. And, hey, well played, Democrats. Well played. You have ruined health care for almost everybody in the United States to give it to anybody that doesn't work. Is pretty much, and that didn't even work. And that didn't even work because it didn't give it to the people that didn't work. It actually took away from them too. Congratulations. You completely screwed it up, and now the Republicans are rolling over and keeping it going. Play it forward. Let's just keep it going. Hey, why don't we just declare ourselves a socialist country and all go about our day? I mean, I've been fighting this crap for 13 years. And I'm going to keep fighting. I don't care. Because I know how to grow food, and I know how to shoot food, and I have guns. I'll just keep fighting it, and when we become Venezuela, I'll eat. You'll eat. Most conservatives will eat. And everybody else will complain. What happened to the food manufacturing? Well, there's no such thing as food manufacturing. It's actually food that we grew and raised, and it all went away. That's what we're heading towards. We're heading towards Venezuela. With single payer, we are heading towards Venezuela. Because everything trickles down from there. It all does. Everybody, apparently capitalism sucks. Well, capitalism gives you food. Capitalism gives you your iPhone. Capitalism gives you your internet, your cable TV, everything else. But capitalism sucks. It's getting out of hand. And liberals, and I hate that term. Progressives, I hate that term too. We need a new term. We really need to come up with a new term for them because they're not liberal and they're not progressive. They're regressives. That's what I'm going to start calling them. Regressives. That's the new term. Regressives want us to go back to not producing and the government handing us everything. But the government really doesn't hand us everything. They want what we fought for in the Revolutionary War. That's what they want. They want the government to tell us what to do. They want the government to give us what we get. That's what they want. And they don't realize how bad that is. And it really needs to stop. I'll live. I'll be fine. Maybe that's why I can be so vocal about it. I'll live. Give me a tent and my guns. I'm fine. How many of these little morons that you see on social media and everywhere else screaming and yelling about Trump and everything else, how many of them can do what you or I could do to take care of ours? They couldn't. They'll be the ones crying. Well, you need to help me. No, I don't need to help you. You screwed it all up. I'm literally almost at that point where it's like, okay, keep going. I don't care. I really don't care. I'll live. I'll be fine. It's getting really bad. Single payer will screw this country up completely. It will screw it up. And it's what Democrats wanted, and it's what the Republicans are giving them.
You know, I mean, isn't that kind of the ultimate irony, though, to think about this? With as hard as the Republicans have fought against things like this, can you imagine the irony of a Republican president being the one that actually winds up bringing a single payer? Because, I mean, as much as I'm going to want
to... He's going to.
Well, yeah,
at this point, he's going to.
I understand, but that's what that's what I'm saying. What's the irony in that? Because as much as I want to be at this point standing up, taking a victory lap, yelling, "I effing told you guys that he was going to do this," that doesn't solve anything. I mean, granted, I know you're right to a point, and I should probably be a lot less pessimistic about this because I live in an area where I can grow food. We have access to firearms, so we can hunt for food. We can do whatever we need to do to survive. That's one of the reasons why we moved out to where we've moved out to, because there's little to no government interference out here. There was a method to my madness, I promise. But at the same time, I'm just thinking, you know, what happens 20, 25 years from now when people don't really have the ability to do those type of things anymore, because we seem to lose more and more of that with every generation. And no matter how much we try to pass it along to the generation after us, they just don't really seem to be that interested in it anymore. I mean, there is one of my children that is an avid sportsman and an avid hunter. The rest of them seem to be interested in basically staring at a screen all day. So, I mean, at least I know one of my children will survive.
I'm the same way. 4 kids. I have one that he's constantly honing his firearm skills and, you know, whatever. I guess he and I will protect the rest of the family. Because people don't realize. How can people not look at what's going on in Venezuela right now and not realize that there's a problem? Honestly, I don't get it. I don't get it. Venezuela went down. Venezuela used to be a prosperous, great country. And it's decimated right now. And it's decimated because of exactly the path that the Democrats are leading us down right now. That's why that country is decimated. I actually had somebody arguing with me the other day on social media. I said, take a look at Venezuela. They were arguing with me over the whole, are we a democracy or are we a democratic republic? And he tried to say, well, Venezuela is the exact same government. No, they're not. They were a democracy. They were not a representative democracy. They were a democracy. And it backfired on them. Because mob rules put the wrong guy in. Democracy doesn't necessarily work. When you have a situation like us where you have 50 states, and each state has a say, it controls things to a certain extent. But we've let the federal government get too out of control. Way too out of control, where they say, we don't care what the states say. When that happens, when you need to rally the states and you need to rally the people, we're not going to do this anymore. When New York, LA, Illinois, Massachusetts, I'll leave it at those 4 right now. When they start ruling how things work, the rest of the states need to stand up and go, nope. And it happened. That's why we have Trump. It happened. And I'm not a supporter of Trump. I didn't vote for Trump. That's why Trump's in there. Because the rest of the states stood up and said, nope. Now, I'm not real happy with what Trump is doing. Because he came out, outspoken. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I'm for the American worker. I'm good with that. But he's not a conservative in the least. But that's why he's there. He's there because the states kind of stood up and said, well, he may not even be what we want, but we're going to vote for him because he's not Hillary. That's why we have Trump. That's why we do. That, to me, is our system working. It may not be what everybody wanted, but it was better than the alternative. So everybody voted for better than the alternative. And that's how a representative democracy works. We're not a true democracy, which is mob rules. If it was mob rules, Hillary would be president right now. We're not a democracy. That's why Hillary is not president.
Exactly. However, be very afraid, because there are some folks that are seriously starting to try to float the idea of getting rid of the Electoral College, which will put us one step closer to being Venezuela. Which is scary enough when you think about it, because it seems like we're on a track to single payer, most likely. We have an entire generation of people that thinks the Electoral College needs to go away, which would make us mob rule democracy. So, I mean, in between that and if those two things happen, within a generation, we probably will be Venezuela, and all the dogs in this country will be running away screaming to make sure they don't wind up on a plate. But we are seriously long. Do you want to keep going or wrap up?
Let's wrap it up. I got stuff to do tomorrow.
That's kind of what I was thinking. I just wanted to double check before I just cut you off and said we're out of here. All right, so why don't you remind folks where it is that they can hang out with you when you're not on the radio hanging out with me?
You can find me on Facebook, and Facebook I'm Daniel Wright, and you can find me on Twitter at MadFeist, which is F-I-S-T, spelled wrong. It's not spelled like Feist the dog because I couldn't get it. But I actually still have an account. I'm approaching 1,000 followers.
I'm knocking on wood for you, sir.
In quite a while.
I'm knocking on wood for you, sir. Because it's actually, after some of the exchanges that you and I have been in lately, I'm honestly surprised that neither one of us has been suspended yet. Because
yes, me too.
All right. So anyway, you can follow along with me.
The one we had today was very interesting, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's fun. And every once in a while, I like to give crap back to the trolls. All right, so speaking of giving crap back to the trolls, you can also follow along with me on Twitter, should you so choose, at AOTR_host. You can shoot me an email at rick@klrnradio.com, or you can follow along on Facebook. Just search Rick Robinson. Look for the picture of the guy with the Time magazine cut out, because there's a lot of Rick Robinsons on Facebook, so I decided not to put a real picture up. Just because, one, it's scary enough to see my own face on Twitter. Don't want to terrify anybody else with it. And two, it makes it stand out a little more. You can shoot me a friend's request. We'll talk, we'll chat, we'll hang out. All of the above. I will be back with you live Monday night for America Off the Rails. And stay tuned tomorrow night, if you are so inclined, on crndigitaltalk.com. We do have the weekend show going up over there. Airs every Saturday and Sunday at 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 Central, 7 Pacific. And on that note, folks, we are officially out of here. I hope everybody enjoys your weekend. Thanks for taking some of the time of your busy weekend schedules to hang out with yours truly and my co-host. And we will see you next week. Take care. God bless. Good night. We are out.